Bianca Belair wants to do something unthinkable in WWE, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and why it's so big. Because Bianca Belair, she has legitimately done everything in WWE. Main event WrestleMania, done it. Multiple-time women's champion, you bet, believe it. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, she's done it. She has been on the forefront of the golden era of women's wrestling. She's wrestled the who's who. She's done it all in this business. In fact, she is such a big star and such a respected name that when Jade Cargill was called up to the main roster, placed on Friday Night SmackDown earlier this year, she was paired with Bianca Belair. That was not by accident. That was strictly by design. And it was all due to the respect of Bianca Belair, the credibility in which she's built up throughout her wrestling career. Going back to the stare down with Jade Cargill and the Women's Royal Rumble match, setting the scene for a dream match between two iconic stars. Now, in the meantime, though, we've seen them as a tag team. Two-time women's tag team champions, doing their thing on Friday Night SmackDown, having notable matches with notable stars at notable events. But what is there left for Bianca Belair to do in this business? Well, there's a lot. And Bianca, she has her eyes set on these things. She's looking to go out there and achieve these things. And in my opinion, I think that she's going to be able to do so. Look, she's one of their biggest stars for a various reasons. It's being a lovable babyface, having connection with the fan base in which not a lot of people do, her in-ring work, her psychology, her gimmick, her promos, her it factor, her charisma. The list goes on and on. When you have a checklist of what talent can and cannot do, she hits all of the boxes that you were supposed to do. All the boxes that you can do. That's what Bianca Belair brings to WWE. Now, Bianca Belair, she recently did an interview with Good Karma Wrestling, and that's where this video picks up. Because she was talking about her aspirations for the women's division, and it really bled into her own. And this is what she had to say. I've accomplished a lot so quickly. I've main evented WrestleMania Night 1. I would love to main event WrestleMania Night 2 because I feel like that's the whole other status type of thing. I would love to be part of a women's match that doesn't even have a title. I would love to get to a WrestleMania where both women's titles are defended, the tag team titles are defended, but we also have a women's match on the card that the storyline is so great that it doesn't necessarily have a title. I feel like the men do it all the time. And I feel like it would show how much the women's roster has evolved. Because that's how much talent that we have. We just need more matches. We have so many women. Now, I want to preference this by stating that we have had other women's matches that did not have championships on the line. Whether it is we had a trios match, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi, Damage Control, earlier this year, right? We had a trios match at WrestleMania 39. We've had gimmick matches. So don't necessarily look at exactly that. This is what I had circled. This is what I had unthinkable, and I felt like she should have really preferenced this because, in my opinion, this is a much bigger deal. Her talking about how she's already headlined WrestleMania Night 1. She did so WrestleMania 37, 2021 against Sasha Banks. She won her first women's championship on the main roster that night. Night 2 of WrestleMania, that's huge. That is massive. WWE can advertise all they want, that there's 2 main events or there's multiple main events. At the end of the day, Night 2 of WrestleMania, that main event is the true main event. Think about this. You had Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38 come out of retirement for his first match in 19 years to take on Kevin Owens, and that was on Night 1. Why? Because they had bigger plans. They had Roman the next night. WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, that wasn't on Night 1. That was Night 2. Okay? You look at this past year. Yes, The Rock coming back, his first match in many, many years, teaming up with Roman Reigns, taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. That was on night 1. Why? Because the main event was night 2 of Roman Reigns putting over Cody Rhodes, him finishing his story. We don't get many huge matches on night 1 that are bigger than night 2. They're always a grade below. Okay? So, if Bianca Belair is able to have a headlining WrestleMania night 2 match, it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable, just as an example. We're going into WrestleMania 41 next year, right? What's the rumors? Rock versus Cody. That's the biggest match you can make. And Roman versus Solo. If I asked you what matches would be on what night, I would say you do Roman versus Solo night 1, Rock versus Cody night 2. Rock and Cody's bigger than Roman Solo. Okay? If I said Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, with or without a title, it doesn't matter, would headline over Cody Rhodes and The Rock on WrestleMania Night 2, you would think that would be absolutely insane. Let's go like this. Even Roman versus Solo, if I said Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair is a bigger match, it would headline Night 2 of WrestleMania over that. You would think I'm insane. WrestleMania 40, Bianca Belair versus X, Y, or Z over Roman versus Cody, night 2, WrestleMania 40, you would think I'd be insane. Like, you get that's the unthinkable part. That's what she wants to achieve. That's what we're talking about today. That's insane to think about. Is it possible? Yeah, I think it is. And I'll tell you why. A few reasons. One, different regime. Triple H is in charge, right? He's booked the first ever tag team title match to headline a WrestleMania. There's already precedents with women headlining PLEs, including WrestleMania, right? WrestleMania 35, 2019, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, triple threat. They had the very first ever women's WrestleMania main event. That event, of course, was the last time we had one night. Thank God. Yes, we had Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair WrestleMania 37. That was night 1. But if you were able to say under Triple H's leadership, under his creative, in the golden era of pro wrestling, where WWE's women's division has never been more stacked with great in-ring workers and great star power, that would lead all of the ingredients to one thing. Story. If you had the right story, I would point to a few years back, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, triple threat. That was a great story. That story was a big enough story that it preceded any men's match on the card. Just like if they would have ran it back the following year of a Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, that would have been a bigger match than any match that the men could deliver. So if you have all the talent in place, if you have all the star power in place, and if you have the right story in place, if you can put those three ingredients together, throw them in an oven, bake them, then you have a recipe for a WrestleMania Night 2 main event. If you look at it like that, if you just try to break it down as simply as possible, it's not as crazy as you may think. And that is why I think that this is actually doable.